everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Karina and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be continuing my painting journey, this time with an update for my project polish. And this is going to be a very exciting update because, as you guys may have already seen by the thumbnail, I have decided I'm going to adjust my project a little bit and kind of go a little bit more of that traditional project polish route. This year is a year focused on really trying to finish up bottles. So a lot of my focus is on smaller sizes of polish, even if they are like a full-size bottle. So smaller bottle sizes or ones that I'm getting close to finishing, just so I can start getting some numbers out. So it's actually easier to organize all of the nail polish that I have at this point. And so I think I'm going to go more for a traditional project polish. So I have picked up a nail wheel. I've also picked up a peel off base coat, which is great because now I can actually make progress on glitters, because those are annoying to take off without a peel off base coat or something to make it easier. But what I have here, so this is going to be a little bit of a different update because I'm going to go through my nail wheel. As you guys know, I don't worry about getting every last drop out of my nail polishes. I do try to work them down as close as I can. So I was able to get swatches for the stuff that I had used up previously. You guys will note not everything that has been in this project is on the wheel, because what's on the wheel is to finish. That is my goal, or what I have achieved thus far in this project. So things that had been rolled out for 10 uses, most of those you will see again because I do want to finish them this year. I just want to finish them when they're more seasonally appropriate. But there is one exception, which is that navy blue Cosmic Colors polish that I had in my intro. That was just for 10 uses. It was a brand new 15 milliliter bottle. And at this point, I'm not interested in getting that one done in this particular year. So aside from that polish, everything else eventually is going to be, or at least in my mind, currently planned to be rolled back into this project. And at that point, it will go onto the color wheel. So this is everything. You can see my very nice transition. So you can see kind of my wintry shades up there, my transition to spring, and of course some of the stuff I will talk about that you haven't seen in this project yet once we get more on this side. So I'm just going to show you everything at the beginning. And what we're going to do is work through the polishes that are on this wheel. So this is my first time with the nail wheel. Then we'll talk about the progress that I've been able to make. We'll talk about new roll-ins and the overall goals for next month. Because I am very focused on I want to use up polishes and get things out, this is a year where I think, and again, pretty much every project polisher or a lot of people who I've seen, the goal is to finish an entire nail wheel. And I think with this being the end of April, this is the year I think it's feasible for me to do that. Because again, either I'm using smaller bottles or I have larger bottles with less product in it. So that is going to be the ultimate goal. And based on what I am planning on rolling in, I'm anticipating we should be able to fill this wheel up and get onto a second wheel. But this is the wheel. This is the one that's going to be the goal to completely finish by the end of 2023. So if you're excited for this project revamp and getting the nail wheel, make sure that you let me down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up. And without further ado, let us begin by talking about what I've already finished in this project. So getting into my winter shades. Now, I'm not going to show you all of the bottles. You will see that probably in the finale. And of course, you would have seen this in previous projects if you guys are up to date with my videos. I have already gone through and marked X's on things that I have finished. So let us start off with the very first one. And of course, these are all in the order that I had rolled them into the project. This first one, of course, was the beautiful Hansen Slick Slate. Out of all of the polishes on here, this is one I'm actually considering I might repurchase once I work through some kind of similar colors in my collection. I just think it is like so flattering and it's dark without being too dark. So I like that one quite a lot. The second one, of course, was the one that was kind of unofficially that I was going to work on behind the scenes for you guys. Of course, that was my Rebel polish. So that was my Rebel polish in I Said RE-gina, which again, beautiful color. That's the one I wore on my wedding day. Very sentimental. I am sad it's gone. These two, of course, the dual end of the Revlon, so their Expressionist line, Ulterior Motif. This black, of course, not black, dark gray, right? You can see comparison to the black. I think this one is much more flattering than the black is, just because again, it's not quite as dark. This I'd finished up quite a while ago, but this one I just finished up in the last month. And this one I actually did finish this month. You can see there's the end of it. You can even see those mixer balls in there right there. And that's most of that final line is just those mixer balls. Just those mixer balls holding it up there. So no, there's nothing left in here. I was able to get the swatch on here plus one final manicure, which was on this one here. We'll see it a little bit later, but I'll just talk with the glitter now. So Elementary, My Dear Watson, also from Rebel. It was prettier in my brain than it actually was on the nail, but it was fine. So, yeah, decent manicure. But that got this guy finished off now for you guys. So I have already marked it with that X. The black, of course, this one was from Color Institute. There is supposed to be some sparkle in there, which I don't think you can see, but you could definitely see how kind of janky the swatch is because it was very difficult to get product on the wheel so it could show it to you and mark it. Again, I think I like the idea of the black for a lot of toppers, glitters, things like that, but on myself, I don't think it's very flattering on its own. It's just too dark, right? And not a big fan of that one on its own, so I'm glad that I had used it up. So that is what we have previously finished. So far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus there was also from the Color Institute just a little kind of from the Color Institute, there was a little pink sparkly kind of topper coat, which it's like completely done. And because it wasn't rolled in this project, I didn't put it on the swatch wheel because it was never rolled into this project. So that was kind of finished behind the scenes. So great progress. So now let's move into this part of the wheel here. So this is what I had in for my last update. So let's start with that progress. This red, which was also very difficult to get a swatch of, it's sort of ish 2 coats, mainly 1 plus a little bit. I don't have a name for it. It is this little mini OPI Red. So yay, exciting. And this, if you saw my last update, I talked so much about it. So these are, I had to remark, so the lines may not be completely accurate from what you saw last time. But it was completely full when I rolled it in, and there is only 3.75 milliliters in here. So tiny, tiny bottle. That was where I was at the first update after I rolled it in. This is where I was last month. Now, I only managed to get one more manicure out of this bottle. So I was so close my last update. So with one more additional use to get the last manicure out, I did try to use it for a pedicure. There wasn't enough in there. This brought me to a total of 17 uses out of this bottle. Most of those were manicures, probably like 4 to 6, let's say. 4 to 6 pedicures, because I did enjoy this particular color on my toes. So it was lovely. Of course, pedicure does use less polish, but I did use 2 coats on all of those applications. And after 17 uses, this is finally done. Now we can update that swatch wheel. This one is now completely done. I am kind of missing a red a little bit, I'm feeling right now, especially because, you know, it just snowed again. Because Saskatchewan. So I am kind of missing that red, but it was a great red. I think is a good all year color, and then depending on which red it is can kind of vary on your seasonal appropriateness. But this one was a lovely, basically all the time kind of color. All right, the next one I have to update you guys on is this one here. So this was the Rebel nail polish. This was in Elementary, My Dear Watson. Again, this is less than a year old now, so this would have been towards the middle of May when I got this polish last year. And so based on the progress marks, this is where we got to. So this is where I started because I did have use on this polish for a manicure and pedicure before this project. This is where I got 1 month later, then here. And you can see I do have polish left, but as you guys saw from the glitter manicure I talked about earlier, like so stringy, oh my goodness. This is very gloopy. It is hard to work with. Even trying to get that swatch, it doesn't look the best. It's a little bit difficult. So this is a polish I am going to call done as well. So I'm very excited to get another polish out. I had used this 4 additional times, so 3 times manicures, just this color. And then the last one, of course, was topped with that beautiful pink topper there. And that has brought me to a total of 10 uses in this project. So 10 plus a manicure pedicure before, so that was only 12 uses out of this entire bottle. Again, I don't have any kind of size marking on these at all. I imagine it's not that much product in there though, to be able to get through the whole polish in 12 uses. It did take 2 or 3 coats, kind of depending on how careful you are. But yeah, so basically 4 uses from there to get it down to there. This, of course, was the swatch, and now that it is finished, I can finally mark us off. Another little OPI mini. This one is Gelato on My Mind. Again, 3.75 milliliters, the same as the red one. Also brand new when I rolled it in. This was kind of one of my winter to spring transitional shades, so it was full when I rolled it in. This is where I was 2 months ago, and this is where I am now. I haven't been getting a whole lot of use on this particular color, partly because the formula is difficult. It does require 3/4 coats to get opaque on the nails and to be like this color in the bottle. Even then it can still look a little bit streaky, so it is a little bit more challenging to work with. It does take a little bit longer for drying time, all of that good stuff. But we are making very good progress. The progress has also been very consistent, right? I had 3 uses from the top to here, and I did use it another 3 times this month, which brings me a total of 6 uses in the project. So that's about halfway through the bottle, I think. So yeah, we're progressing on it, and we'll talk about this guy again when we get to my goals. So this is the swatch of Gelato on My Mind right there. Now this one, you guys may recognize, this one is actually the Sephora Color Hit. This polish is one that I had first rolled into my Advent Calendar project pan. So if you're interested in seeing me use up a whole bunch of smaller items, do feel free to check that out. I have a playlist. Now, I had originally talked about this one briefly when I started that project, that I was going to introduce it obviously, and focus on it in the Advent Calendar project. But when I started this and doing the wheel, I wasn't getting a whole lot of use on this guy because I was focusing on my project polish stuff. And I had put it into the Advent Calendar because I wanted to pay homage to my project. So what I've decided, and I don't really like the concept of double dipping where I'm using one product in 2 projects, but my bad, my mistake. We'll have this kind of one case of it, and then of course I'll keep all my nail polishes focused in on this project moving forward. So I have gone ahead, added it to the wheel. It's right there for us. This is Sephora. This is their Color Hit in the shade, I believe it's in the shade Cookie Break. Now, this bottle, this is difficult. That is where I'm at, which, I don't know what it is about these Sephora ones so far. So when I used it the first time for a manicure, I used it and I was able to make that line, which is like, great, I'm going to get through this quickly. But the problem is that I have used it a total of 7 times. So I have used this 6 times since I marked it. I did use one of those times on my, on as a pedicure. Not the biggest fan of that as a pedicure. But the other 5 times were manicures, and I'm still at this line. I can see a little bit more space up here, but there's not enough to mark. Now, this also is going to be like the widest point of this bottle, but oh, it is not moving at all. So I am currently at 7 uses on this. It is a nice, beautiful nude, kind of a nice little palette cleanser option for me. And I will be updating in this project moving forward. So just so you guys are aware. But oh, this is going to be moving slowly. Now, I did do 2 toppers with this particular one. So the first one that I did, you're very familiar with it. This is my NYC. This is a blue. I don't have a name for it. And that one, I did enjoy it. It added just a little bit of a shimmery shine to it. Very beautiful, and I liked that one. The second one I did was with the Sassy Chic color in 943, and I've used it only as a topper, and I'm making some progress on it. And this combination, again, also very beautiful, kind of a darker nude combination, and I would do it again. Next to Sephora, we have this green. So this is coming to us from Quo. This is in the shade Divine Sage. It's part of their fast drying line, and yes, it actually is fast drying. And we've got, you know, like a nice, beautiful light green shade, nice little transition color for spring. And of course, is this one here. We have 5.5 milliliters in this bottle. It was completely full when I started the project, and this is where I've gotten to now. I was really worried at the start of this one because I think it took me like 6 uses, maybe 5 uses to actually see progress that I was comfortable to be able to mark. So it took me quite a while, and now we are getting through it. And I used this. I went hard on this one, you guys. I did use this one once on my toes, but decided I didn't really like that. But I went really hard on this as a manicure color. And so to get down to this line here, I actually used it 10 times since the last update. So 10 times in April to make this progress. Now, a few manicures in, when I just used this color on its own, I decided it wasn't the most flattering on my particular skin coloring. And it just wasn't my personal preference. So I went heavy on the toppers for this. So we've got lots of toppers to talk about. So maybe pause, grab a snack, grab a drink. Let's talk about all the toppers I paired with this green. So the first one I did, of course, yeah, once again, this is a topper I do want to make good progress on because this is so old. It is super liquidy, as you guys can tell in the bottle. This manicure, because I was trying to capture more of like this shimmer, you might be able to see it in there. It doesn't translate to the nails. There it is a little bit. So I was trying to make that shine a little bit more. And this was a decent manicure. I did wear this one twice, so on 2 different occasions, and I liked it more the first time I did it compared to the second one. And you do have to be careful to avoid streak marks with this guy. Second manicure I did, or second topper combination that I did with this guy, not a big fan of it. You've seen this one as well before. This is a C&D in Glitter Sneakers, another topper I'm kind of focusing on, making some good progress. This combination ended up making this one look more golden yellow, but still obviously green, which again, nice, but not the most flattering on my particular skin tone, I thought. So it's like, nope, on to the next one. Next one I enjoyed more than the C&D, but not a big fan of it either. This topper you've also seen several times before, so it's the Sally Hansen, the Miracle Gel in Eternally Grapefruit. And again, gave it a little bit more color than the yellow one, but still it was very this light green with a little bit of colorful shimmer on it. So, still not my favorite. This was the next combo I did. So this is Pacifica, their Plant Magic. This is in Mermaid Tail. Beautiful dark green shimmery topper, really. If you want to build this up, it takes like probably 4 coats to really build it up. You might be able to get away with 3. And again, it did a good job of kind of darkening the nail. It did more cover this color, which honestly I was fine with, but isn't a combo I'm going to do a whole lot. I may do it again. I'm not going to rule it out, especially because I have such good progress on this guy. But yeah, it was decent. And the last one I did with Divine Sage, also from Pacifica, and this you would have seen in, whoops, this you would have seen in one of my nail polish hauls, because I did get this guy on clear out. This is their Bio Glitter, their top coat. It's kind of like a translucent topper. We'll get on that in just a moment. But it's this beautiful, like you can see the green, and it's got purple shimmers and kind of like larger, chunky silver glitters. Now this does color whatever color you have underneath, but the combination, like this made Divine Sage so much more flattering. And it also is going to help extend the wear time, because like this is very like early spring kind of color. This you can get away with if you combo these a little bit longer, since I am seasonal with my polish. And you could see the purple shimmer throughout. It's hard to get that silver glitter on the nail kind of consistently, so that was a little bit challenging. But we are, you know, like it's basically brand new. I've only used it, those two manicures, as a topper, so kind of one coat on top of Divine Sage. But I really liked this combo, and I will definitely be doing it again in this next month. In fact, this was the manicure I had on yesterday before I redid my nails. So this was nice, and did make Divine Sage more appealing for my personal preferences and personally more flattering on my skin type. So that's a ton of stuff I did. Again, 10 uses on it. That got it to here. So we still have a ways to go. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit my initial goal of getting this done within a 2-month time span, but we'll kind of see how it gets when we get towards the bottom, because with these square ones, it's hard to get a lot of the polish towards the bottom out. So we'll see how this one keeps progressing. Next to Divine Sage, we have this purple here. So this one comes to us from Kozmic Colors. It doesn't have a name, and it was also brand new in the last update. That polish, of course, is this one right here. And as you guys can see, I'm making some really good progress. So I have used this 6 times. So 2 of those times were pedicures, because I do enjoy this one on my toes. And so not as much progress when you do a pedicure versus a manicure. The other 4 times were manicures. 2 of those times were just this color on its own, and 2 of those times were with a topper as well. This does really take 3 coats to build up, because it is quite, like, it's thick, as you guys can see, but it doesn't go on the nails very nice and evenly, but it builds up beautifully. Right there is my line. So I put it in gold so you guys can hopefully see it a little bit easier. Again, I was starting to get a little bit nervous probably about 2 weeks ago. Like, oh, this one isn't showing any progress yet. I need to kind of push it so I can actually make a visible mark. And I've gotten it to about there. So about a third down, I would say, with those 6 uses. As you guys can probably tell, it is kind of the base for my manicure today. And I did pair it with this one from Sephora as well. So this is their color hit in Gold Fever. You can see a tiny little bit of a break up here at the top, very similar to Cookie Dreams. The first time I did this particular combination, I had just gotten the peel off base coat and I wanted to try it, and I knew this one is a pain to remove. Like, you will scrub the color off of the glitter before you get the glitter off your nails. So that's why I paired these 2 together, and I didn't really have much expectation for the start. But I really enjoyed it, and hence why I've done it again today, so you can see it there. So yeah, very nice. I do enjoy it. I like it. Obviously, it's a bit louder, a bit more bold of a manicure because you have a chunky glitter topper. But I enjoyed it, and I might be doing it again. But again, it does take, you know, your base coat, 3 coats of this, and then a coat of this one on top. So it's a little while. So those are the colors that I currently have in my project. And as you guys would have noted earlier, there are 3 new additions to the color wheel. So let's work through the 3 new things that I want to add in. This first one is no surprise to you guys. You have seen it before. This one, of course, is Sally Hansen. This is in the shade Shall We Dance. So again, just a nice, very neutral shell color, right? Very appropriate with the naming. You guys saw this last time way back in January, and I had pushed quite hard on this in January with my 10 uses, and then I had rolled it out. So this is where I was in the beginning of January, and 10 uses later, this is where I had gotten to and rolled it out. Now I have brought it back in with the gold to finish. You can see there's not a whole ton of polish left, and this is a full-size 15 milliliter bottle. And it is getting a little bit on the thicker side. So again, I want to prioritize it before it gets too thick on us. So this is going to be not a polish I'm going to particularly like hone in on like I had done previously, because this is going to be like the Sephora color hit, a palette cleanser, but this one, of course, obviously a much more neutral version of a palette cleanser. So although I don't think I'm going to get a whole ton of uses out of it, especially based on this progress, and then it does take 2 to 3 coats to get this color opaque on the nails, I'm going to enjoy having it in and kind of taking it a little bit on the slower side. But I did want to have, again, a little bit more of that neutral palette cleanser, since this one, although it can be a palette cleanser as well, is more on the pink side, so it's a bit more colorful than these 3 options that I've had. All right, the next one. This one I decided I wanted to roll in simply because of, again, the seasonalness of the color. This is also no surprise from my Plan to Pan nail polish for 2023, and this one comes from the Sally Hansen Insta-Dri line. This is in the shade Beet-ing Heart. Now it is quite vibrant, like not like a full-on like summer vibrancy, but definitely a spring vibrancy. So I wanted to get this in now to make sure I had time to work through this and get it done, which is the goal of all of these polishes at this point. My starting off mark is here. So the progress from the top to here was in my project polish last year. I had done 10 uses on it last year, plus there is the swatch picture, which I'll throw up there. So 11 uses got me to this point in the bottle, and obviously I still have all of this left to go. This one I anticipate is going to be very topper heavy, just because, again, like, it is vibrant on the nail, but it's not my preferred kind of vibrant color. I do like something a little bit deeper, a little bit richer, and this is okay. But I'm going to try lots of toppers, and I'll let you guys know this now because I have the idea in my back of my mind, and it's kind of sticking there, so that's a sign that this idea might come to fruition. But this polish, like, nothing's going to happen for the first month, because I'll play with it as is with toppers. But this might actually get frankened. I've never frankened a nail polish before, but depending on how I progress with toppers, if I find combinations I like, if not, I still want to get use out of this polish and get it used up and out of my collection, but it might get frankened. And I already have ideas in my mind about how I would franken it. Again, because I'm thinking about it so much. Clearly, this idea may happen at some point. But for now, we're going to stick with this and toppers, and I'll give you an update next month how I'm going to move with this going forward. Again, whether we're doing more toppers or if we're going to move into potentially frankening and seeing maybe how big of a disaster it will be. But if it is a disaster, it's okay, because it's not like this is a color I enjoy a whole lot, just based on personal preference, right? It is flattering, I think, just it's not my preferred shade. So this is now joining the project. All right, and you guys can see there is one final swatched out color here, and it is kind of a pink glitter topper. If we compare it back to the Revlon, obviously you guys can see like this one is much more big chunky glitters, where this one, while it does have some chunky glitters, is more of that smaller pink sparkle in there. And because I have a peel off base coat, it's like, well, let's play with them. I want to play with these toppers. And so if you caught my Essie nail polish advent calendar unboxing, then you will recognize this little guy. So this is Essie. This is their pink kind of rose glitter topper in the shade A Cut Above. I had used this one only once so far, and I had used this as a topper over the Sephora color hit in Cookie Break. So I'll throw up the video of what that looked like, and it was decent. Not a whole lot of color contrast between these, but if you're going for something a little bit more monochromatic, that was nice. So I did only use it for that one manicure, and as you guys can see, right, that's a lot of progress. Now this is only a 5 milliliter bottle, so it is on the small side. But based on one use, I feel like I can move through this pretty quickly. So I want to add it into the project again because it was fun on the color kit from Sephora. And I want to use a polish. So let's use up some glitters in addition to the base because as you guys can tell by my nail wheel, it is a lot more focused on the cream colors. So I'm thinking I might put this over maybe the green, see how that one turns out. I want to do it over the purple. I think that would be nice. Definitely over that pink color. And just kind of see what I can do with it and see how long it takes me to do a glitter that's just a topper compared to some of my other colors. All right, long story long. This is what we've got with our color wheel. That brings us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the other, so 8 finished polishes so far. So here's the 7 that are swatched. And then this is going to bring me to my current color theme, which, yes, is more colors than I necessarily want at this particular point in time. But one of them is a glitter topper. And again, I do want that variety. I do want to still play with more of my spring colors over here. But I am starting to get into my transition into my summer colors so that I do have time to actually use them up while they're seasonally appropriate. So that balance, right, between finishing polishes and also working towards filling up the wheel and filling them with seasonal appropriate colors, that's going to be the balance I'm going to be striving towards as we progress with this project. So let's talk about the goals that I have for this month. So 3 main goals I want to set as per usual, and the first one, of course, is going to come from OPI Gelato on my mind. Again, I've made good progress without really focusing in on it, right? 3 times each month for the 2 months it's been in the project already. And so, again, because this is much more of that winter to spring transition, this is the time to get it out, especially because we do have a little bit of snow right now, but that's not going to last, and the nice weather is going to come back and it's going to be wonderful, and then I won't want to wear it anymore. So now is the time I'm going to focus in on this guy, and I want to have this one done for the next update. Divine Sage, of course, is going to be my second goal. Reminder that this is where I got to with 10 uses. I want to aim to get another 10 uses on this particular polish, and that will all be on Manicure since I do not like this one on my toes. With 10 uses, ideally, that might get me finished or to my point of where I call it finished, which would be fantastic if that's the case. If not, though, that's going to get me into a position where I will be able to finish it off in June and hopefully early June. So that is going to be my goal. This is going to be another priority focus shade. And the third focus for me is actually going to be on the new Sally Hansen Beet-ing Heart. I want to see, again, because this is a very seasonal appropriate color at this moment, and I have other colors I want to roll in that are going to be more of that true summer vibe compared to just the spring to summer transition. I want to see if I can find something that will make this work for me. So I will use this as a pedicure color in addition to Cosmic colors in the purple. So I actually have some good colors to alternate on my toes, which will be great. But I want to see if I can get something as a manicure that I actually really do love and adore. And if I can't find something, then that's going to push me towards, do I franken this and try that whole experiment? So either way, that is very exciting to me. So I do want to push fairly hard on this one as well. So because I do my pedicure once a week, my manicure basically every day, right? So I'll be able to get probably 2 pedicures out of this one, bring me down to 8 uses, minus the one for the swatch. So I need another 7 uses over the next month to reach a goal of 10 uses on it for the next update. And finally, that is going to bring us to the end of this video. So a longer video, so thank you for sticking around for it as I explain my whole transition, my goals with doing the whole color wheel, and all of that very fun, exciting stuff. Again, I'm just very excited for that color story as we are getting into May, which is going to be more of a spring proper month, and of course starting that transition into more of those summer colors. But thank you so much for joining me for this update today. Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comments below. And I'm just so excited. We're at 8 finished polishes already, and it is only the end of April, and there's still a fair amount of 2023 left. So I want to keep this motivation high and keep pushing and getting these polishes out of my collection, seeing how many I'm able to do over the course of the year. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Have a wonderful day.